Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for your kind birthday wishes because you saw this card, this birthday card here. Now, I just want to clarify. First of all, thank you so much for your wishes, but this is not my birthday. This is my 5-year-old son's who turned 5 only a few days ago. You may have seen during our unboxing video. His name is Rushe. So it was his birthday, and it's his precondition that this card should continue to be displayed here. And I have absolutely no authority to defy that order. That's number one. Number two, the two flowers that you can see, this is gladiolus again. And these are zinnia flowers, you can see. These are all grown by me in my allotment that some of you may have seen the video I've been posting on our Telegram channel. You can see the details on the screen. If you haven't, you can actually go and watch because I do tend to share a lot more videos from my allotment activities. The reason why I spend good few hours every day in the allotment just to get the mental sanity because the goings on in the Middle East has the potential to drive you nuts and crazy. So it's absolutely important for all of us, and this applies to you as well, to take good care of our mental health. So now let's return to the serious topic of today's video. I'm assuming that you may have seen the gathering of an indicted war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu, and a convicted felon, Donald Trump, at the White House last night. I'm not going to apologize for calling Trump a convicted felon, even if this angers his supporters watching this video. That's because his conduct last night at the dinner table was simply unforgivable. I've always maintained that I'm an impartial journalist, but do not ever expect neutrality from me when it comes to human rights and crimes against children and women. I will always be on the side of the victims, regardless of their color, nationality, religion, or any other considerations. So Trump invited a war criminal to the White House for the third time in the last 6 months. Contrary to the last two occasions, this time he didn't address the media at the Oval Office. However, he did an even more sinister thing. He invited the bloodthirsty terrorist from the settler colony along with his wife for dinner and made sure that his diabolical horror show was captured by media representatives. The most ugly and perverse moment came for me when war criminal Netanyahu gifted Trump a letter that he claimed he had written to the Nobel Committee recommending the US president for the Nobel Peace Prize. This flipping action was riddled with irony of epic proportions. First, who was recommending Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize? A bloodthirsty terrorist? An indicted war criminal who has an arrest warrant issued against him for the last 1 year for crimes against humanity? And someone who is busy masterminding the biggest Holocaust since the Second World War in Gaza? Netanyahu is someone who shouldn't be allowed to live in a civilized society, as his rightful place is in jail, and not in ordinary jail. He should be locked in the worst prison in the world with the keys thrown in the Atlantic. That's how dangerous this terrorist is to human society. He is the worst of the terrorists the world has ever seen. And he has the audacity to recommend Trump for Nobel Peace Prize, something which is awarded to an individual for being everything which Netanyahu isn't. And how did Trump react? He said he was touched by a war criminal's gesture. And in his words, this is very meaningful because it was coming from a notorious terrorist wanted by the world's top court.
But the president has already realized great opportunities. He forged the Abraham Accords. He's forging peace as we speak in one country, in one region after the other. So I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well deserved. And you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, Bibi.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
I watched this live last night and was angry even though I'm not a Palestinian or Arab. But I was seething in anger because this just showed a naked display of barbarism at the White House. This wasn't a private conversation at Netanyahu's house built on the stolen land of Palestinians or Mar-a-Lago, but at the official residence of the President of the USA. Is there any doubt left in anybody's mind now that the USA now stands for everything inhuman, cruel, evil, and purely barbaric? I wonder why they haven't renamed it as Evil House or House of Barbarism or Slaughterhouse. I mean, Netanyahu was boasting about recommending Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize just before proudly announcing the joint Israeli US plan to ethnically cleanse 2 million people. How do you reconcile with this contradiction? He said Palestinians will never get their freedom, and Israeli occupation of their land was going to be permanent. And Trump's silence simply showed that he agreed with the ethnic cleansing of 2 million people. After all, it was his original idea. Watch it for yourself.
Do you think that there can be a two-state solution that creates an independent?
I don't know. I'd ask Bibi that question. You have the greatest man in the world to answer that age-old question, two-state. Go ahead. You give him your honest answer.
I think the Palestinians should have all the powers to govern themselves, but none of the powers to threaten us. And that means that certain powers, like overall security, will always remain in our hands. Now, that is a fact. And no one in Israel will agree to anything else because we don't commit suicide. We want life, we cherish life for ourselves, for our neighbors. And I think we can work out a peace between us and the entire Middle East with President Trump's leadership. And by working together, I think we can establish a very, very broad peace that will include all our neighbors.
I know more and more Republicans are getting disenchanted with Trump's genocidal policy towards Palestinians. But is that enough? How do average Americans feel when the person they elected as the president openly support the genocide of 2 million people using their tax money? They're happy with this naked display of barbarism and celebration of brutal murder of tens of thousands of babies and children. What could be more perverse than two genocidal maniacs gathering at the White House over a lavish dinner to celebrate the mass starvation of 2 million people who are suffering because of their direct decisions? Are you happy, dear Americans? Are you feeling proud of just being human being? Because if you are, then fear karma. And if you aren't happy with what we all saw last night, then the question is, what are you doing about it? Why are you silent about this? You are answerable to your loved ones, particularly your children. They will never forgive you if your support for such morally corrupt and mentally deranged individuals comes to haunt them in the future. My words may be harsh, but I'm speaking the truth. Do reflect on this. Because even as I speak, the genocidal policy of Netanyahu and Trump has led to the slaughtering of dozens of more children. This was after Israel dropped more American bombs targeting innocent children and babies. This time, the target was a school giving shelter to displaced children and babies. I'm afraid you all are complicit. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.